Sally Fields. You won't believe what happened the day the laughter stopped on the set of Mrs. Doubtfire. One phone call changed everything, and what Robin Williams did next is the reason so many people who worked with him still talk about his heart, not just his jokes. We all remember Robin Williams as the human sparkler, the guy who could walk into a room and light it up in seconds. But the story you're about to hear isn't about punchlines, it's about presence. It's about how, behind the machine gun wit, there was a man who noticed when someone else was hurting and quietly moved the world so they didn't have to carry it alone. Back in 1993, Mrs. Doubtfire starts rolling. On one side, you've got Sally Field, 2 Oscars deep, laser-focused, famous for grounding every role in truth. On the other, Robin Williams, pure kinetic energy improv, voices, physical comedy, the whole fireworks show. Opposites? Totally. But that's the magic. The movie needed both. Laughs that loosen your shoulders and a heartbeat that reminds you this is a family breaking and trying to mend. Day 1, the rhythm is obvious. Robin Williams gives a clean take or two, then boom, he's off-road. Accents, gestures, lines, he invents right there. It could rattle a co-star. Sally Field doesn't flinch. She anchors, she listens, she lets Miranda react like a real person to Daniel's chaos. That push-pull becomes the chemistry you feel in every scene. Director Chris Columbus catches on fast and sets up multiple cameras just to keep up with Robin's curveballs. The result? A dance. His spontaneity, her steadiness, room for both. Now, here's the moment that changed how Sally Field would remember him forever. They're prepping for the courtroom sequence. It's heavy material. Between setups, Sally Field gets a call. Her father has passed away. She's the kind of pro who believes the job still needs doing. So, she tries to keep moving. No tears, no drama, just forward. But Robin Williams sees what everyone else misses. He comes over, soft voice. "You okay?" She tries to brush it off, then tells the truth. And that's it. Switch flipped. Robin Williams doesn't offer a cliché or pat her on the shoulder and walk away. He uses his weight, the star, the guy production schedules bend around and says, "She's going home. We'll shoot around her." He speaks to Chris Columbus, the plan changes, and the entire set pivots so Sally Field can be with her family. No speeches, no spotlight. Just a man doing the right thing with the power he had. That wasn't a one-off. Robin Williams made a habit of protecting the vulnerable. Ask Lisa Jakub, who played Lydia, the eldest daughter. She was just 14, juggling school and a movie. 2 months in, her school decides it's not working. They tell her not to come back. Imagine hearing that at 14, that your normal is gone. Robin Williams doesn't shrug and say, "Showbiz." He writes a letter to her principal, handwritten, thoughtful, asking them to reconsider and support her education while she works. The decision didn't change, but the gesture landed where it mattered. Lisa Jakub kept that moment because it told her she wasn't just a prop in a comedy. She was a kid, and he saw her. And it wasn't just the cast. Crew members tell versions of the same story. Robin Williams learning names, sitting with grips and electricians at lunch, asking about someone's kid or a parent's surgery, making the long days feel human. In an industry where big stars can make the world spin around them, he found a way to tilt the axis toward everyone else. All of that generosity spills into the movie itself. Watch it again, and you'll see it. That tightrope between silly and sincere. Daniel's disguises are ridiculous by design, but the ache is real. That ache exists because Sally Field grounds every scene, and because Robin Williams trusts her to do it. He flies, she lands, and somehow the story never gets lost. Time moves on. In the early 2010 seconds, Robin Williams keeps working, including a TV comeback with The Crazy Ones. When it's cancelled after a season, it stings. Around that time, doctors tell him it's Parkinson's. Later, we learn it was actually Lewy body dementia, a brutal, confusing illness that messes with memory, mood, and the mind's wiring. His wife, Susan Schneider, would describe it as an invisible attacker. Think about that for a second. A performer whose gift is lightning-quick thought, suddenly tripped by a brain that won't cooperate. And still, he keeps showing up, keeps trying, keeps making space for other people. On the 11th of August 2014, Robin Williams died by suicide. The shock was instant and worldwide. Statements poured in from fans, from friends, from leaders. Barack Obama called out the incredible range of characters Robin Williams brought to life, the ones that kept us company through childhood and beyond. Comedy partners like Billy Crystal and Whoopi Goldberg tried to find words for the friend they loved. And Sally Field, who had been there for the jokes and the quiet moments, spoke about the courage, the generosity, the way the laughter was never just for show. What sticks with her most? Not the wild riffs or the on-set improv Olympics. It's the day she needed someone to notice, and he did. It's the way he stepped between her and the grind and said, "We've got you." That's who Robin Williams was when the cameras weren't rolling. The person who made sure the person in front of him felt seen. And if you look back, that's the thread through his whole career. Jeannie's jokes that also feel like a hug. A therapist in Good Will Hunting who speaks softly and changes a life. A father in disguise learning how to father better. The laughter was never the whole thing, it was the doorway. Walk through it, and there's real care on the other side. So, to bring this home. Why does the story of Sally Field on that set still land like a punch to the chest? Because it reminds us that success isn't just skill, it's character. It's what you do with your influence when someone else's world is wobbling. Robin Williams could have shrugged and stayed in his trailer. Instead, he rerouted a production and gave a colleague the gift of time and dignity. That's not a punchline, that's legacy. Now I've got to ask, do you still revisit Mrs. Doubtfire, Dead Poets Society, or Good Will Hunting? Do you show Robin Williams to younger folks in your life and watch their faces change in that exact moment when the comedy unlocks something deeper? Because honestly, his work hasn't aged out. It's more relevant than ever. In a noisy world, his kindness still cuts through. If this story brought back a memory, drop it below. What's the Robin Williams moment that lives rent-free in your head? The first time a movie of his made you cry-laugh? The line that stuck with you long after the credits? And if you think someone younger needs to meet him, share this with them. Let them see the genius and the gentleness. Before you head out, tap like if this resonated, subscribe for more true stories that look past the spotlight, and hit the bell so you don't miss what's next. And hey, tell someone you appreciate them today. Robin Williams would have liked that.